All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Welcome back, traders. Second portion of our show, Market Movers, and we are just littered with financial stocks moving the markets.
Yeah, financials are popping all over the place, and you started in Europe early this morning, and now our financials are very strong. They're optimistic that these stress test results here on Thursday could be okay, and then they were saying on CNBC, if that is the case, that maybe some of these financials actually come out and start raising their dividends. So I think that's what's really driving the financials here this morning. Citigroup is one here, Joel. At $34.95 it's trading. We're close to $34.29. This stock is right at that 35 resistance level. This has been key resistance here for a long time on this stock. It topped out, if we go back into February, at $34.74. Just a few days ago at 34, just getting the number here, 34.89, trading above there right now. So in 35, I'm just seeing size. So it's almost like a tractor being played type of going on now to that 35 level.
Yeah, Dennis, I have to agree with you on that. Looking at the pre-market activity, we did sneak above that $35 level too. Not sure what kind of size you're seeing at that level, but that could definitely signal a major breakout here. Just looking at the charts and going back in a little revisionist history here. C did the reverse split around $5 and then just fell off a cliff. And came down, traded down to 23.30, and now it's made a recovery. But looking at the monthlies, this area above 35, it cratered. It cratered below 35, and now maybe if we get back above 35, I don't see major resistance until 39, Dennis. And I know that's a long way to go, but it went down through that area. Was going to go back up.
Yeah, that could be the case. You just got to be careful when you're playing these breakouts, though, because a lot of people might play that trade. So there could be a shakeout there too before maybe it eventually does march higher. But just be aware that there could be a pretty good shakeout here because a lot of people are eyeing this 35 level, but it's key. And full disclosure, I have a trading position on Citigroup too. Let's move on to J.P. Morgan, Joel. J.P. Morgan's another one that is popping up here this morning as well. It's trading $41 after closing at $40.54. The other day we topped out at $41.44, so that could be where your first major resistance could come in on this. What do you think, J.P. Morgan?
Yes, you have to look at it the same way. I mean, it hasn't made the high of the move here, so I see no reason in not trying to play it long up to that 41.44 level. Also 41.50, nice round number like that could come into play. So definitely 41.44 target. Going at the monthlies here, Dennis, we did top out at 41.37 in August of last year, so that just adds significance to this resistance level. But if in fact we could close above this 41.50 area, I'd be looking at this 42.55 to 43 level over the next couple days.
Morgan Stanley here too. And one other thing just to mention though overall, remember when fundamentals come into play, sometimes technicals they can go away, and we do have a lot of fundamental. We've got Fed coming out here Thursday, these stress test results. If the stress for whatever reason are a little worse than expected, then maybe these things start to sell off. So there is some fundamental stuff, so you just got to be aware that there is fundamental news pending on these things when you're trading them. Morgan Stanley, though, Joel, another one that is popping up here this morning, is trading 18.56 here after closing at 18.20, so it's getting a pretty good lift as well. But it's quite a ways off of its 6-month high here. We topped out back in February at 20.70, so we're quite a ways from that area. What do you think on Morgan Stanley from a little different setup?
Yeah, I was just when I was looking at the chart there, I noticed the exact same thing on a relative basis. The stock still has some room to run. Looking at the dailies, you've had three highs between 1834 and 1855. We are currently trading above that level, so let's call support all the way down to 1834. Popping up, you had a high at 1878. That could be some minor resistance. But after that, Dennis, it really opens up until the 1932 to 1942 area. So if you're, going to base your enthusiasm on Morgan Stanley, relative to where the market is, this thing has some room to run.
We might as well touch them all, Joel. Goldman Sachs here is another one that is popping up this morning of your major financials. 118.17. It's trading right now after closing at 116.99. We had that nice breakout there a couple weeks ago, and then it's fallen off, shake everybody out, and now it's just settling back in this high teens here. What do you think on Goldman?
Yeah, Goldman kind of caught me with my pants down. I kind of, when it broke out of above that 118.50 area, I kind of blogged that it was a breakout or a fake out, and I kind of leaned toward the breakout side. Well, turned out to be a fake out, but if you had some patience and waited for it to come in, you'd probably still be in the trade, being long at the $118 area. 118.70 is pretty good resistance, and see what happens there, but opens up to 120 after that.
It's not all financial news. There's a few smaller ones here. Urban Outfitters reported earnings last night, Joel. Stock's starting to come back a little bit. It was down over $2. It's only down $1.20 here now, trading 28.30 after closing at 29.51. $30 has been enormous on this thing. This is a level that it just hasn't been able to penetrate. For whatever reason, this thing's turned around and started going higher. The 30 is huge. And I'd look for some support at 28. What do you think on Urban?
Urban crashed out in the pre-market at 27.32. Has had a nice rally since then, topping out at 28.75. So I use that 28.75 as resistance. I don't think we're going to see that 27.32 level. To me, 28 looks like a pretty good level. 5 lows between 27.87 and 28.10. So I think on a pullback here, we will not see that 27.32 level, but instead see support at $28.
Mark West Energy, which is MWE. This stock has just been on a tear, moving pretty much straight up over the last 3 or 4 months. Trading up, to 61.52 to close out yesterday. It is trading down here today. I think this took the market by a little surprise. They announced a secondary there after the bell, and they've priced it at 59.54. So usually when you get these secondary pricing offerings, sometimes those prices become like a magnet to the stock. You could play that as a magnet trade, which we've talked about before, was the stock pulls away from that price and sometimes pulls back to it. So keep in mind that 59.54 secondary offering price, and that's exactly what's happening here in the pre-market. The stock's trading 59.40, Joel.
Yeah, as soon as that news hit the tape, they whacked it right down to 59.20, and it's just consolidating there. So, look for your arbitrageurs to take advantage of whatever price discrepancies there are between that and the preferreds.
MHS, which is Medco Health Solutions, moving up here as well, Joel. Stock is trading 69.24 after closing at 68.35. This is a stock that's been on a pretty good run here too. Yesterday we topped out right around that 69.90 area, so you wonder if $70 may have some institutional selling pressure that those high frequency guys are sniffing out. What do you think on MHS?
Yeah, it's been on a nice run. You have to keep an eye on that level. That's really the only thing in the book there. It's 69.90. Just a reference point before that, we've topped out at 69.51 in the pre-market. So above 69.51, look for the high of the move at 69.90, which is also an all-time high.
So overall, my take here today is this is a financial-based rally. So you want to, obviously, some of your other stocks may be a little bit relatively weak relative to financials because you got some of these financials trading up over 2% with the market only being up 6 points. So that looks like your driver overall today. Joel, any closing thoughts?
Well, we've had a bigger range overnight than we did during the entire day session, so the song remains the same. We will look for support at the old high of the move at 1371 and a quarter. That also coincides nicely with the mid-range. Look for resistance begin at that overnight high at 1375. 75 is the sellers that are there in the middle of the night are usually there in the middle of the day as well. That's our show for today, folks, and we'll be back with you tomorrow.